You know what's interesting? You said this to me a couple of months ago, that the fastest way to a good mood is through smell. And when we look at the brain, that I can absolutely get that, because the hippocampus is the part of the brain where mood and memory is stored. And in fact, Alzheimer's starts with a decay in that hippocampus. And one of the first signs that you're moving towards an Alzheimer brain is you lose your sense of smell, because the olfactory nerve goes straight up into the hippocampus. And when you activate that olfactory nerve, you activate the mood and memory centers of the brain. So, this is where I kind of geek out, and I think we have overcomplicated health.
Right.
What if literally we're debating antidepressant, no antidepressant? It's as simple as you just need to carry some pure happy around and pull that out of your pocket every time you have a bad day. Do you think it could be that simple?
I believe it is that simple in one aspect. So let's be real clear on that. Essential oils don't provide long-term nutrients. So when someone says to you, I have an oil for that, I don't really buy into that, because they can't do everything. But you are exactly right in reference to the fact that they have a backstage pass to the limbic system. They bypass the cerebral cortex, which oftentimes is the bodyguard, and they just have an immediate pass to the back when we're talking about the hippocampus. And especially when you said pure happy, there have been so many studies done in reference to just citrus oils themselves to help alleviate feelings of stress in the mind, anxiousness, and all that comes with mental challenges, right?
There's a magic pill to anything.
Right.
The premise of all of my books have been, you're the hero. You're the one that does the healing. The medication, the supplement, the surgery, the oil, none of that does the healing. It's just helping you magnify what this incredible body's capable of doing. I have to tell you, one of them is my absolute favorite. But let's go through it. So if we look at a woman's menstrual cycle, the first part is where estrogen is coming in. In the book, I talk about it. I call this the power phase. You can power yourself up on fasting. You can power yourself up on ketones. And now you can power yourself up on essential oils. So the one you created for that is called I Am Strong. And wow, I will tell you, it is. I've rubbed a lot of oils on my body. I think Pure Happy before you brought me I Am Strong was my favorite, is absolutely my favorite blend I've ever put on my body. So when in that first part of the cycle, that the pituitary is receiving communication from the ovaries. And the way that it works is when an egg is ready to be released, it actually sends a chemical up to the hypothalamus and says, hey, I need more estrogen. And so then the pituitary starts to create a neurochemical reaction that sends a signal down to the outer part of the ovaries and says, hey, outer part of the ovaries, that we call it the thecal cells, we need you to make more estrogen. So this feedback loop is happening really strongly from day 1 to day 10 of a woman's cycle. So the fact that you would have an oil in there that would be stimulating, nurturing, therapeutic to the pituitary, that's key for estrogen production. So if you're an ovulating woman, let's say you were trying to get pregnant, that would be key. If you're a postmenopausal woman who's losing estrogen, you want that pituitary to be at its best. So that's brilliant. I love that.
No, you're great. And I'm grateful for that explanation, because what we want to do, grapefruit at the same time, we want an oil blend that can help mitigate cortisol.
Right.
And so what grapefruit does is it stimulates the mind, but because of those trace components, even we are creating an environment where we can lower cortisol. That really comes in with that second ingredient, coriander. So coriander actually has more of a relaxant piece. I would really more of a stress reliever. And it's what we call a blend enhancer. And so there are oils that they make the entire team just work better. It's just like humans. When we put a team together, I don't necessarily want just an all-star. I want the dream team who everyone's components are synergistic. I don't need just one person to guide it. So coriander helps with that. And then pink pepper is third, which again is a very stimulating from an olfactory standpoint. Internally, pink pepper can be calming for the system, but olfactory wise is very stimulating. But now we get to this spice component: black pepper, clove, cinnamon, ginger. these are oils specific to glucose. And so these essential oils, you get citrus and spice. The reason why I want those together emotionally is because we want to break through emotional barriers. And when you talked to me originally, you said, Gab, this is when a woman would want to start projects or finish projects she hasn't been able to finish because possibly cycle challenge.